Welcome back to K-Ratio's Weekend Preview. I'm Kyle Littner and I'm here today to provide actionable insight for the future, not recap the past. In this week's episode, the structural collapse of the freight market not only continues but intensifies, laying a new foundation for a host of future problems. We'll break down what that means for you this week, but first let's take a look at where the freight market currently stands. We are running out of superlatives to describe the runaway freight train of 2020. In crossing over the 16,000 line, the National Outbound Tender Volume Index rests 56% higher over Labor Day weekend than this time last year and 59% higher than 2018. There truly are not many words to accurately tell the story of just how much freight is moving through the domestic supply chain right now. Since there is an astonishing amount of loads and the supply of truck capacity cannot increase with as much speed, we get national cancellations comfortably plateauing above 25%, well beyond 2018's 17% in green and 2019's 4% in orange. Given the dramatic rise in price since bottoming out in May, the fact that cancellations have yet to contract at all indicate this problem of inelastic demand coupled with the relatively static supply of trucks means that it's not going away anytime soon. As reported by Truckstop, the national average rate per mile is 68 cents higher than this time last year and a mind-blowing $1.18 higher since May 3rd. Despite the elevated rates, rejections are hitting 1 out of every 4 loads, and that comes with volumes more than 50% higher year over year. Yes, 50%. All of this volume and at this level of rejection has put tremendous pressure on routing guides. Keep in mind that these are national averages, so by very definition, some companies are doing better while others worse. Given that large enterprise shippers cast a wider net in provider selection and can promise higher volumes, they tend to have lower rates per mile than smaller sized shippers. It's very possible and more likely probable that some very large shippers right now are seeing 30 to even 35% cancellations, which gets us to our favorite chart. The latest report on national spot rates compared to contract rates as reported by DAT is truthfully all one needs to see to understand just how severe the current capacity crunch really is. Spot rates jumped 18 cents to $2.40 per mile, now 17 cents higher than contract. That widening gap alone is enough to cause grave concern for many, but simmering just below the surface are contract rates up 8 cents themselves. It is the latter price movement that will create more headaches down the road. It's not shocking for spot market prices to move like that, but it is for contract rates, and especially at this time of year. And despite the fact that they are non-binding, contract rates will serve as a floor for prices as they're 1/2 of a transaction for any freight brokerage. And with that spread between the two now to 17 cents and climbing, there's no reason to think that will stop, thus snowballing into more rejections and higher rates and even more problems for 3PLs down the road. And if you don't think that this will happen, let's revisit where we are right now with some background context. The current market has volume more than 50% higher than the past 2 years. Since we don't know how many loads move per day, let's use 1 million for easy math. In 2018, at 17% rejections, there were 170,000 loads per day that needed repricing either through the routing guide or into the spot market. In 2019, with 4% rejections, the number of loads for repricing was 40,000. Today, with volume up 50% and tender rejections of 25%, daily loads for repricing reaches 375,000. That number on the bottom is the total number of tractors registered for hire. In 2018, we had a supply shortage driving prices higher coming out of the hours of service mandate. 2019 saw the arrival of more capacity and rates responded by dropping. In 2020, with roughly the same amount of trucks as 2019, we find ourselves in a demand market which has pushed rates to the extremes, and that will not stop until either those loads decrease or more trucks show up. One of those does not appear likely since we are in the middle of the greatest consumer behavior experiment of all time, and the other takes months, if not years, to produce. What does this mean for freight this week? Carriers, we said it last week and it holds true again. Outbound LA has stabilized, albeit at very high rates, so don't expect another price increase there. However, if you're hauling reefer, outbound cancellations in much of the northern Great Plains is above 50%, including Bismarck, North Dakota at 86%. So if you can find a way to get there, you will be paid a fortune getting out. Brokers, unfortunately, not all companies are created equal. Shippers almost have to deal with the larger guys, and they get a lot more leeway in renegotiating their contract lanes. Don't wait too long or you're going to be the bad guy to blame, and there is no trophy for eating losses over the past couple months. Do it now, but do it right. Don't carpet bomb all your lanes with higher jacked up rates. Shippers, don't wait for your providers to come to you. Be proactive and get out in front of this. Pick out your troublesome lanes and reprice them all. However, don't forget about the guys that did stick around. Incumbency should still stand for something. To stay current with everything freight, follow us on LinkedIn. Or for more information on all of our products, including our award-winning Freight Intelligence platform, so your margins don't end up where they are today, check us out at k-ratio.com. Please stay safe, and thank you all for watching.